I'm Kit Ryan of Ryan Sound Lab. Today we're going to show you how easy it is to install our MusicPower plug-in circuit boards that will transform your classic Naim preamp and give you an exciting new listening experience. In this video we're going to show you how to get your MusicPower plug-ins installed as quickly as possible and get to listening. Here we have a NAC32 5. 32 is exactly the same. And before we actually open it up, please turn off your power amps and then turn off the power supply that you use for the preamp. Could be a high cap or a snaps or maybe the power amp itself. Then, to make it easy to get inside, let's unplug the cables. This is the power cable. This particular one has a press button release. Pull out your input cables. Here's a typical 5-pin connector, and maybe you have high-level inputs that go from your CD player, for example, with those kinds of inputs. To get inside the case, we unscrew the 4 rubber feet on the bottom. They usually will come off just with your hands, but if you need assistance, use a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. Once they're off, the case simply slides right off the unit. And there you have it. Inside the unit, you can see that all the active circuitry is on these plug-in boards. Naim did a superb job of engineering this. And by replacing these boards with our MusicPower plug-ins, we are going to be able to transform the entire active circuitry of this preamp and give it a whole new wonderful sound. We're first going to replace the line output amplifiers, these 2 boards here, and that will demonstrate how easy it is to take these boards out and put them back in. Just lift up, pull off, right off the posts, and these plug-ins come right off. Now we'll take the line out amplifiers that came with your set, line up the pins, and just push down like that. Very easy, very quick. The amplifiers are now changed. Now let's do the same thing with the high-level input boards, these 2. These are the ones I recommend that you use for your CD input. These come from the Z401 high-level input. Again, just line up the pins. Push down. These particular boards have an adjustable volume control on the top. It's a stepped volume control, which means it precise steps so that you can match the 2 channels. You get a little screwdriver with the set, and every time you increment the arrow on the switch there, it will knock the sound down a little bit, around a decibel, so that you can keep them both matched, and then this will match the phono boards better. And finally, we will replace these buffer boards, which go to drive the volume control, with our time-aligned buffer. Now that brings this 32.5 preamp up to a level actually beyond the 72. In fact, in listening tests, this sounds better than an original 82. So this really is just an incredible addition to your preamp. So make sure that this ribbon connector is seated like this. It comes this way, but it's easy to put on in case it comes detached. I suggest you take this smaller bar, put it in first, and then while you're positioning the ribbon cable conveniently, put the time-aligned buffer board in that position. Now you're done. It's time to put the case back on. But before I do that, I want to show you how to install the remote control, which would go in place of these 2 boards. If you got the remote volume control, Z302, then your set looked like this, the buffer boards, the time-aligned filters here on this board, and a board that contains the radio receiver and a precision stepped relay volume control on it. And it also has an antenna wire. To install that, line up the pins. I suggest putting that one in first, and then line this up. And that's it. Take the antenna and just conveniently route it inside the case. You can't short anything out, it's completely insulated. Now, if you did buy some phono boards, they would most likely go in this position, which corresponds to the phono input here and the phono switch on the front panel. So let's take those two out. We have our moving coil Z100 phono boards, and they look like this. They come with a special module that allows us to tailor the impedance of our board to your particular cartridge. We normally ship this with the matching module that goes with the Lin cartridges and matches the K boards that Naim used to make. So here, same easy installation. Line up the connectors, push it down, and your MusicPower plug-in is in. Here's the second board. And you're done with the plug-ins. Now to put the case back on, simply the reverse process. Line up the front panel, slip the case over it, and as you push back, make sure that you seat these boards down fully. The case just clears the top of the board, and that's intentional, so the boards will stay fully seated in shipping and moving around and handling. Now you're ready to put the feet back on. Reattach your cables, turn on your power to this first, and let it sit for a couple of seconds, and then put on the power amp, and you're ready to go. Enjoy listening.